All right, everybody, it is go time for a new CIRF report. Thanks for joining. And you hit a very energetically transformative week. We're in between eclipse cycles, and interestingly, lots of different cycles are winding down this week. So we're at the fall equinox. That's a solar cycle. And we're also in the last quarter moon, which is a lunar cycle. And that's just the beginning. So let's get started. All right, here is our overview Gantt chart. This is our overview of the influence, right? And we're going to do another triangulation for the solution, or what we should be focusing on for behaviors to maximize our success. So the influence, got to know what the major feelings are. And there are a lot of transformations happening. And that's why the I-Ching focuses in on this finishing phase, the great wind down. But also the dream bot is clearly also recognizing the power of this kite. Now remember, this kite's going to be a 2-week period. This is the second of 2 weeks for this week, and then it will end. And before it ends, the sun, which is on one end of the kite, representing the kite itself, representing the great builder or the visionary builder, is going to hand off to Mercury. Mercury would become the commander, I guess, of this kite formation. But the dream bot goes around the web and scours for people's dream words, and then consolidates them and prioritizes them in terms of what is surging, what kind of words are surging in the collective unconscious. And we have just cycles after cycles after cycles. We have fantasy in there. It's an interesting run, but overall it's the labyrinth of life. And it's going to be not only the winding down, but also the seeds of the new. So it's going to be both. I know that's a lot, and let's get started. And we had a tie this week for the best comment. So big shout outs to Andrenization. I hope that I pronounced that handle correctly. Congratulations to CJ Star Monkey 73. Both of you tied for 7-ups, and well deserved. Great comments. And we had a 3-way tie for number 2. And out of that bunch, I'd like to focus in on Miss Universe, something like that. Happy birthday, happy belated birthday, because that was on the eclipse. And, thank you for all of your comments. Great conversations. Thank you for making this more of a tribe or a community. Thank you, everybody. Time for the dream bot. And here we go. September and Aug are still at the top. It is continuing to come down. The baseline, that is. But we have a new sorts of themes here. Game is number 3. Game over. I thought that was super interesting, especially since we're looking at the great wind down. Per the word process is also there. Oak is still there. And, fantasy really speaks to that little double sextile over. It's the short end of the kite is the Neptune, and it's bringing the fantasy into this visionary builder archetype. And that's this energy that the dream bot is picking up. Fantasy is coming from, or is going to last until the end of 2024. So basically what we have, if you read through here, you'll see time and cycles. And another meme is understand or cognitive knowing. There's a strong knowing theme. And we have connections, which is very Libra, sun going into Libra this week, and revelations and secrets. So putting it all together, you get the labyrinth of life. The labyrinth represents the complexity of the human experience. Time is fluid and cyclic. Understanding comes in waves, and connections are fragile, as you already know. All right. In the astrology of things, this visually speaks to the cycle that we're in. One of the cycles is the lunar cycle, the eclipse cycle. Well, it's lunar and solar, but the band of blue here represents the very end of our eclipse cycle, and that was in Aries. And we're going to reestablish the new eclipse cycle on October 2nd, and that'll be the next CIRF report. And then also in here is the fall equinox. So that's also right at the wind down of the summer period. It's a new season. It's a fall season as gets established this week. And then also starting next week, we're going to have a new energy window. So there's another cycle that's going down or winding down. This is the last week of Earth 2.0. And this was all about visions and fantasies, everybody talking about how wonderful we could make the world and, upgrade here and there, and politicians promising new wonderful things. That was all in and will be in this energy window number 14. A lot to talk about here. The kite, this is mainly the kite all in here. On the 26th, we're going to enter the new energy window, which is the Magellan of the collective tempest. Now, let's now focus on just this week. And here's kind of a top-down view or side view of the intensity of the energies. If the energy is the great wind down, or these cycles of sort of grinding down, that endings, if you will, that's this green line. And it's green to represent the dominant energy inside these alignments is going to be that grand Earth trine. And so I put it green. It's a practical newness. And Sundays when the fall equinox happens, and then we get into the ending, the last quarter moon, and then just straight to the next. It'll stay high. This winding down will stay high until the next solar eclipse, on the next new moon. Thursday, the 19th. What I've done here is outlined in bold the kite. I made the one leg of this. This is Sun trine Uranus, very thick, because this chart represents when that Sun trine Uranus goes exact, which is at 9:04 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Sun trine Uranus is exact. And the kite, remember, is all the visionary builder. Well, this Sun and Uranus is all about practical transformation, change, vision, practical versus fantasy. It's bringing the fantasy into the practical, and that's, obviously including Neptune sextile Uranus, and Neptune on the kite opposing the sun. The kite formation represents the energy that there's a rare ability to make dreams tangible. Remember, and we covered that last week. So it becomes the visionary builder, and the change and insight that Uranus brings to the material world are magnified because this goes exact in the morning. Then on Friday the 20th, start to feel more of the energy from Mercury square Jupiter. Because this is going to go exact, and we'll talk about it when it does that. But on Friday the 20th, this is going to get a lot stronger than even that trine that we just talked about. So Mercury square Jupiter on Saturday the 21st goes exact at 3:49 a.m. It's in the wee hours of the night. And this is the jack of all trades. So Mercury here is going to take the handoff from Sun here momentarily. But on Saturday the 21st, the dominant energy on Mercury is the square over to Jupiter, the jack of all trades. This combination of energies creates a curious, quick-witted individual who loves to learn a little about everything. They are versatile communicators who can talk to anyone about anything. However, they may struggle to go deep on any one subject and just skimming the surface and off to the next subject. So with this energy, there's this pressure. The square represents pressure to adapt and to wear many hats. You got the adaptableness of Mercury and the adaptableness of Gemini, and the positivity and optimism of an expansion of Jupiter, with a pressure in between. So you have excellent at trivial and cocktail party conversations. It's might come across as a know-it-all though, and might spread themselves too thin as you sign up for too many tasks, kind of like this picture here. All right, then we have the switch, the changing of the guards, basically the change of the season. Where is the sun? Right here. Sun enters Libra, and it's the diplomat. And as you're going to see, we have to also include, to get the overall energy, we have to include the kite and some other of these. But first, the sun going into Libra represents many things, and one of them is just the archetype of the diplomat, the mediator. So it's bridging divides. The diplomat uses charm, grace, and keen understanding of social dynamics to create the win-win situations and maintain equilibrium. We also have that fall equinox, where it's the perfect balance between light and dark, day and night. So as the sun enters Libra, we are reminded to find equilibrium between opposing forces within ourselves, and we become more like a master alchemist. We blend the light and the shadow aspects of ourselves. Whoops, why is it doing that? To bend the light and shadow aspects of our nature into a unified, integrated whole. So you may feel enhanced ability to see all sides of the situation, to be able to balance those sides. This energy favors legal matters, contracts, forming agreements. It also supports relationship, marriage, partnership, one-on-one relationships. But remember too, though, we also have Venus, something we didn't talk about because she'd been overshadowed by other bigger things even. But Venus is going to go into Scorpio on this day, Sunday the 22nd at 9:36 p.m. So a full over 12 hours later, over half a day later. We also have the visionary builder of the kite is still present. And we have the jack of all trades is still heightened, and the pressure of it. So this is a period of questioning beliefs, broadening perspectives, and wrestling with big ideas. The mind expands, and we also have the changing of the helm here. As sun goes into Libra, now Mercury makes its way into the kite formation and becomes the driver here. So it's much more cognitive kite rather than the builder. Doesn't make it any less building, but it's just more thoughts now. And the thoughts and the way you communicate are towards that that big transformative future that we have. All right, Monday the 23rd, not really much changes. Still have the kite, still have sun in Libra now. You can see the representation of Venus in Scorpio. And then we get into the winding down of the lunar cycle. The spring equinox, fall equinox, sun goes into Libra, was a solar cycle. And now we have the last quarter moon, where we have a 90 degree between moon and sun, represents the last quarter moon is going to be in Cancer. So there is a lot more pressure than normal because of the 90 degrees. There's multiple 90 degree alignments here. So there's a lot of pressure at the last quarter moon. This becomes more of the wise midwife. So it realizes the hardships and struggles of newness and birthing, but can help use the wisdom to guide that process to make it more smooth transition. But there's a big pressure to do it. So that great mother, that wise midwife might be suggesting you need to push now, or at least telling you the timing of when that's happening. That's the last quarter moon in Cancer. And it's the winding down, cycle number 2. It's the winding down of the lunar cycle. And also, it's a monumental milestone in the grand scheme of the 6-month eclipse cycle as well. We're in the terminal phase of that whole, lunar and solar cycle. Okay, Wednesday, the 25th, we have the exact trine between Mercury and Pluto. And this is going to be the master surgeon. This is the energy of profound mental focus, discernment, penetrating insight, and hence virtually important to the visionary builder kite energy. It's going to be heavy in thought and communication. The master surgeon wields the power analysis like a laser, cutting away what is extraneous to reveal the core essence of any issue or situation. Bringing this picture to the fore, forgot to do that earlier. So you have both the master surgeon, but also the master builder, all compiled into one. Hard to find a picture representation for that, but it's there. So we even have more cycles. We have the end of the eclipse cycle that I mentioned. We also have cycle number 4. The last day of this energy window was what we just talked about. And then I'm calling this a pseudo cycle, the phase out of the kite, because it's been a multi-week energy. And that too is phasing out. But we still have the dreams of the transformation continue with the Neptune sextiles. All right, let's get into the I-Ching. It's hexagram 63 with change line 3. Completion is merely a pause in the cycle of creation, a momentary still point for the swinging pendulum of life. So it's talking about the wind down. In this energy, it's a sense of completion and possible satisfaction. Just because of the grand Earth trine, though, that is all this week, might feel still overwhelming and so many tasks to do. It feels busy, even though you have completion feeling. Awareness that the current state of balance is delicate. Caution about maintaining what has been achieved. Sort of feel this cautiousness, maybe about the next shoe to drop, whatever that kind of feeling is, or worry that you missed something. It's a kind of edginess. It's not like a total, I can just sit back and relax because everything is shutting down. It's more of like, oh crap, everything is shutting down. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Get ready and all that. That's kind of more of the energy. So finishing a major project or life phase, cautious about new ventures or changes, engaged in a difficult ongoing task requiring patience, carefully selecting trustworthy allies or employees. All right, let's button up our influence. No, wrong one. Okay, here we go. All right, there's our diplomat representing the fall equinox. While in the midst of closing down several vastly different cycles, the ending feels busy, tasking, and possibly overwhelming. The kite formation, the visionary builder archetype, underlays the more dominant fall equinox, the diplomat, and the alchemist. The energy this week oozes of strong yearnings to lay waste to the old way of life while renewing a healthier sense of co-creation. That's trying to include this Libra diplomatic and mediation sort of sense and relationship healing. The strong paradoxical energy has us sitting on a fence, perplexed with wonder, anxiety, and excitement. What lies next in the magical saga of life? Or is that for us to create? Dum, dum, dum. All right, back to the I-Ching. We're going to go into our solution now because we apply the change line. We get hexagram 3. And the way that I put these I-Ching readings together, the readings come as the second hexagram represents the behavior, the recommended behaviors. So challenges lie ahead, but they are challenges you can handle. Remember that. Gain strength, find courage, and the ability to keep going. Here is a quick list of recommended behaviors. Gather resources and build a support network. Take small, deliberate steps. Be prepared for setbacks. Cultivate resilience. Seek, mentorship. Seek advice. Avoid hasty decisions or impulsive actions as this thing is winding down. In our conversion chart, we're going to use the dominant energy of the fall equinox. Sun goes into Libra on 22nd September at 7:43. That's Sunday, 7:43 a.m. And on that line is inside of 46, hexagram 46 of the rave, and we get Virgo sidereal once again. Sidereal we use for the solution. All right, starting with the rave, 46. This is pushing upward. It's the prima donna, a difficult and demanding nature that succeeds despite its behavior because of the depth of its talents. This is a very Virgo-esque rave and gate and line. It's the determination to succeed that may offend others, but you just keep doing you keep doing what you're good at and you're talented and it's attached to your values. And you just do that and you become the prima donna, and it actually works. The downside is with this line is that the determination to be treated as a success before it has been realized. And that's kind of a sort of a grandiosity sort of an arrangement. The difference with the upside to this reading, this rave gate, is that you just do yourself. It's a authentic thing, and it will succeed, even though it might offend others. All right, let's get to our solution. All right, so we have the start of a challenging situation on this wind down. We have the prima donna archetype. We have sidereal Virgo, and we have a last quarter moon. What a unique set of archetypes and themes, to say the least. This period will be the mad rush to finish out several old cycles and set the way for new beginnings. The brand new challenges. First, prepare. Gather resources and build a support network. Mentally prepare for endurability and resilience. So the misnomer of this sort of wind down is people can accidentally assume might be more of like go on vacation. Going on vacation isn't wrong. It's just that's not the energy that will probably be apparent. It's kind of like cramming for a test sort of a feel, is my best guess. It doesn't mean you're not allowed to go vacation. It just means when you go on vacation, if that's what you decide to do, you might have a tendency of thinking all the things you could have been doing had you not gone on vacation. Or you might be more task-oriented while you're there, harder to relax. Let's get back to our triangulation. Mentally prepare for endurability. Conjure your spiritual wholeness by tapping into your natural and practical skills and talents. Remember not to think of spiritual in this case as just like otherly and etheric. Because of the grand earth trine, its gift is being able to come into the present moment. And if you can just be purely authentic and genuine, you'll naturally bring your skills and talents, which is what the world needs, into physical manifestation. So that becomes a very spiritual, that's like the essence of spiritual, if you want to think about it. The most spiritual people are not the ones who are meditating their ways away from this life and maybe turning into light bodies and leaving, but those people who are so ingrained into this material world and purely authentic and doing their life's work as a spiritual practice. I find that a fascinating topic. But anyway, it's earthiness here. It's about being practical this week. Last quarter moon encourages strong inner reflection on all of the cycles ending. How did you do over these past cycles? We have a 30-day cycle. We have a 6-month cycle. We have a season cycle. We have an energy window cycle. But what went well? What needs to be improved? Use the Sidereal Virgo not to judge yourself when you do this introspection, but to help you learn from the previous errors and improve yourself. And then lastly, being the prima donna is not just to be too proud of yourself or overly grandiose. It's for no reason. It's just being confident. The essence of this is just being really confident that you're doing the right thing, and it's not a too much of a trying to be somebody. It's just being true, authentic, true to your values, purely authentic and genuine, and bringing your natural skills, your learned skills out into the real world. And if you do that, it is in this triangulation that you shall succeed. Those exact words were actually in a couple of the archetype readings. All right. We do not have a plant this week, and that's not a hit. It's actually a celebration for Sean. She and her husband are celebrating 20th wedding anniversary, and so happy anniversary. And with that, we'll to make a toast to them. And I'll do my own concoction. I just made a new batch of tea this morning. It's mainly green tea, but I also use some black tea. I have some nettle in there for liver detox. I have some horsetail for silica or whatever. And then some other things for taste, like anise, star anise, and licorice root. So it's very tasty. Also have cayenne pepper in there for circulation, and it tastes good. So that's that. I think there's some other herbs in there, but that's the nuts and bolts of it, and it's delicious. It's my day tea. All right, everybody, enjoy this this cyclic ending, this big wind down. Don't get too busy. Don't sign up for too much, but there's no indication that we need to be stopped doing anything. I never came across anything like that. The only thing close to that is the last quarter moon. That implies more, in this case, more of like, it's last call. So busy, trying to get everything done in this last little bit of all these cycles. And with that, I'm not saying that you need to be constantly busy. If you're able to go, relax on a vacation, then do it if that's what you want to do. So there's nothing that says that you have to be a workaholic this week. Nobody ever said that. But if you're feeling like you're a workaholic, then you're probably pretty close to feeling the main energies this week. And you may be saturated, but you may feel like you ran out of time. And that's possible. If not, good on you, and enjoy the great wind down and seeding the new. All right. That's all I have, everybody. Thank you for being here, and love and light.